Greetings one, greetings all. So I'm making some progress and fast. So that's a good thing. And cheaply, which is my goal. So the last videos I showed you, the floor situation is pretty rough. The insulation underneath this unit has pretty much ripped away, especially from the outer wall due to moisture running down the wall and getting the paper that holds it up underneath the trailer wet, and then the weight of the insulation just ripped it away. So when I pried up the old floor, the old chipboard floor back by the sink, I could see right down to the ground. All the insulation had dropped away, and a mountain lion could have jumped up into this trailer very easily. So yeah, and the cold air was just pouring in. The floor was all rotted from moisture, from water running down the side of the building. This trailer does not have any soffits or any eaves that hang it out off the roof away from the building. So there's just this little metal U-shaped drip channel. And what happens is when it rains, the roof on the trailer is domed and the water runs off and it just runs right down the walls. Well, as a result, the box sills and stuff like that are all rotted out. So yeah, so I put a new sill plate board along the existing one to reinforce it, screwed, glued, and tattooed. And then I built a subfloor down, about the height of as far down as I could go was probably a 2x6, and I put a board all the way along the bottom that would replace the plastic or the whatever it was that was holding up the insulation. So now there's a solid floor. If you were to crawl under the trailer and look up, you would see a solid floor. And that floor is resting on the outriggers of the steel trailer frame. So on a trailer, the main I-beams run right down the middle, and then there's these outriggers that come off to the side that go all the way out to the edges. And this new subfloor is now resting on those outriggers. And then I took blocks, 2x4 blocks, and I made joists that stick up, and then I attached those. I screwed, glued, and tattooed those to that board that's on the bottom. And then I took joist hangers and mounted them to the new box sill that I put and the first floor stringer that's inboard of the outer wall. So I basically, and I made, it's strong. I mean, it's strong because the hot water heater's going back in the utility room. So I got to have support for the hot water heater and the floor. So then I filled those cavities in with blown insulation. And this is what it looks like. So each one of those boards you see is sitting on top of a vertical board like that one. And I had to sister a couple of them together. Like right here's an example. So here's the original stringer that I made that goes from here over to the new box sill board that goes over there. And I had to sister these to bring it up to the level of this floor joist so that when I put the new flooring on, it's laying flat. So that's that. I got a hole over in that corner I got to fill up with some expandable foam insulation. I ripped all the insulation out of the wall. Four mouse nests in just this little wall. So then I started doing some wiring. So here's a junction box that was there. I tapped into that, ran power up here. Now I'll have a receptacle because the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink is going to be right here. So I'll have two outlets for plug-ins above the sink. I took there was a soffit that kind of hung down here that these lights were mounted to. I took that down, but I'm gonna rebuild a new one and put it up, and then I'm putting recessed lighting instead of these light fixtures. The recessed lighting will go in there. You can see on the ceiling where the wall used to be for the utility room where the water heater was. So I ripped that out of here just so I could work easier. And now I got to figure out wiring. This is where the heat tape, right here, heat tape is plugged in for the main water line. There's the main water line. I cut all the plumbing out of here. I was tired of fighting around the plumbing, so I just nipped it all out. I'll redo it all. But there's where the water line comes up into the trailer with the heat tape on it. So now, and then there's going to be a wall right here coming this way. That'll be the utility room. Will be right in here for the hot water heater. This is the door that somebody built on the outside of the trailer to be able to put a new water heater in or take the water heater out. That's gone. I'm knocking that out of there, and I'm going to, strengthen up the wall here, and then I'm going to, wow, this is pretty crappy. And then I'm going to just put a sheet of plywood on the outside to cover it up. I'm not going to use that door. This doorway here is wide enough to get the hot water heater out and take it out through the bedroom. That's how, well, I got it out this way, but it'll go through that opening. So now I'm working on the shower base, or the bathtub. That was an absolute joke. And this is what's going on here. So I put a bunch of stringers in here, again with floor joist hangers for strength. So these are, you could land a helicopter on these. Because if you ever had a bathtub that was full of water, that's a lot of weight. Okay, so those are good and strong. And then I'm going to build, the tub is going to be a raised tub. It'll be up about 6 inches higher than it is now to allow this drain to work properly. So that's it right now. I'll show you more when it's farther along. Thanks.